Welcome to Maroon Talk, the only segment dedicated for anything and everything you be fighting Maroons. Just me today, Fim Moran. Something for all you UAAP fans right there. So sa atin sa Maroon Talk, we've done the run through of the lineup for season 87 for the UP Fighting Maroons. Now I'm gonna try to give a similar flavor to all the other teams in the UAP. And that let's give each team my own take of an X factor for each team. Okay, so just something to try out here. Number one, starting out with, I would go with Lasal. Okay, coming off that championship team, the championship season, Lasal is still loaded. If you think about it, but they have lots to prove. Nelly is out, Donna is out, and some other players, but a lot came in for the Green Archers. And my pick for the X factor for the Green Archers is Joshua David. In our finals series against Lasal last season 86, and we barely saw him in the preseason this time, but I believe that is for for a great purpose. Season uh is gonna be more, feeling ko mas mag-step up pa siya this season considering how effective he was in the final series. Parang siya yung naging magic bunot for Lasal during that time. But it's been a long time coming for him, coming off of that, if I'm not mistaken, that Green Hills championship team in the NCAA, and finally getting his time in the seniors with that season 86 team. A lot is still left to be shown for Joshua David here for the Green Archers. So marami pang ibang pwedeng piliin na X factor for Lasal. Even the rookies could be selected as an X factor, but the problem is we have still more. They still have to prove themselves more, and the only venue to prove that is in the league itself, in the UAP itself. So probably sa second round pa natin sila consider talaga to be very effective or very pivotal for their teams. Okay, so I'm going with Joshua David for Lasal. Up next, sunod na natin, Ateneo. For Ateneo, I would say, given the amount of pressure he's been getting ever since season 86, I would still believe that Ian Ian Espinosa is their X factor. From the very, paano sabihin yun, the very heavily expectationed, if there is such a term, point guard duties for the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Being thrown into that type of pressure is really something else that no one can really imagine unless you are part of that team. Uh, Despite the bashing he got last season, can still live up to that expectation. He got some glimpses last season of paano maging floor general. Like, in a way, in a very vague setting for the Blue Eagles, no? Kasi sobrang laki talaga nung nung yung role na binigay sa kanya as a starting point guard of Ateneo coming off the departure of Fortsky Padrigao. So, feeling ko he has this chip on his shoulder still, and he has so much to prove to himself come season 87. So, kaya feeling ko siya yung magiging, if Ian Espinosa becomes effective for the Blue Eagles this season 87, they could go to greater heights. Far from what we've been seeing, in the preseason. Far from what we've been seeing in the preseason. Far from what we've been seeing in the preseason. Far from with them in the preseason. And he, alongside Jared Bahay, getting him under his wing would do wonders for the Blue Eagles. So if Espinosa gets to be effective, it's gonna be a chain reaction for me to Kitevis, to Kun, to Lazaro, to Balogun even, of how that Ateneo team will perform this season 87. So my eyes on Ian Espinosa heading into this season 87. So watch out. Up next for Adamson. This dude has been a veteran for them, and actually he's been showing up despite having Lastimosa on their team ever since he joined the team, joined the Falcons. He has been showing flashes of brilliance, and that player I'm talking about is Joshua Yero of the Adamson Soaring Falcons. So actually make it to the Final Four or even become competitive in this season, he has to take full responsibility and step up. I believe siya yung pwedeng maging um, go-to guy now that Jerome Lastimosa is officially out of the team. Siyempre si Montebon is there. A revelation last season for the Falcons. But I believe Joshua Yero, being that veteran, that legit solid veteran for them, could be, should be at that, should be the one who steps up the most for this Soaring Falcons team. If the system's still gonna be a one person centric offense, just as how they did to with Jerome Lastimosa, if ever lang yun pa rin nga yung sistema nila, he should be the one with the main focus on offense because he can score, he can rebound, and he should defend now. So I believe Josh Royero should have a breakout season this season 87. Of course, you had sila Barasi, sila Manzano, but them on their positions, it's quite difficult because they are facing the FSAs on their position. Unless, as I've been saying the past few seasons, unless they add something to their bag and become different types of scorers, if you get what I'm saying. So it's not gonna cut it if they become the traditional big men that they have been if they want to succeed beyond the college basketball scene. No? So again, it's more than what we're asking for, I guess, for as student athletes, but that's how I see it. No? So of course, you got yung mga sila Erolon, Ray Allen Torres, of course, is back in the lineup. Uh, yeah, and a couple of new guys. Also returning is Royce Montua from UST. Joshua Barcelona as well. Something that someone who we could watch out for. I'm not mistaken, juniors MVP. So hopefully gets to be given the exposure he needs this season. So yeah, very promising still Adamson squad, but they really have to step up if they want to make it the final four. Up next, UE. The UE Red Warriors, also similar to Adamson, a very promising lineup in terms of the talent, the potential that they have. Momowe has been amazing ever since last season. So that's one of their solid pieces on their lineup. But I'm picking John Abate here as an X factor now. The Cruz Dumont brothers, of course, um, taking much of the scoring aside from Momoy. But seeing John Abate now, someone who is capable as well of scoring, he should be someone who who could be relied on this UE team. So I'm excited for this UE team, just as how we were back when they were doing yung panggulo nila in 85 and 86. But now they have different players. Wala sila na magat. Uh, Paranada is gone as well. So this is gonna be a totally different lineup. Hindi naman totally different because Momo is still there. But in terms of the guards, the forwards, I'm seeing new revelations from this UE team for season 87. So don't be shocked if we see some new people stepping up for UE. May mga Wilson din and Lingo-Lingo as well. Um, Having a good preseason for them. But yeah, let's see how they perform come the UAP because it's going to be a totally different ball game. I believe they have some surprises up their sleeve. So you guys better watch out for UE. Up next, FEU. The FEU Tamaraws, I believe, are back in contention at that. As I was saying, the past 2 seasons, it was tough seeing yung FEU na ganun. Because ever since I've been a fan of the UAAP, they've always been around the Final Four, and talagang kulang lang talaga for 85 and 86. And it's quite weird seeing FU out of the Final Four picture. But now they are capable. You have Pre coming in, Pasaol is coming in, but I believe that their X factor should be Cholo Anunuevo. Coming from his injury, we haven't really seen the Cholo Anunuevo potential that we were expecting from him coming off the junior championship. And hopefully he gets to go back and play his game because it's really something that FU is missing. Joric Bautista is stepping up and doing the scoring. It's also nice to see VJ Pre, at least in the preseason, getting some significant contributions, considering that he is new to this type of play with bigger guys, playing alongside bigger guys, unlike how he was in the juniors. Also seeing Pasaol stepping up and scoring as well. There's tons of potential as well for the FU Tamaraws. If they get to have an effective FSA, at least on the defensive end, at least, that would really be a big help for them come season 87. Checking out this FU squad, of course, Sean Chambers, the legend, taking over the coaching roles, coaching role, head coaching role here for the team. Um, it's gonna be something to look out for. Maybe he could bring something to the table that would expose the talent of these kids. You have a returning, I think it's Bagunu. Is Tempra still here? Not sure. Alforque, yes, of course. Another player to watch out for. So hopefully wala nang injury masyado for FEU kasi those really hurt them. And in terms of being consistent in scoring, yes, I've heard it before, but Joric Bautista has the potential to be one of the leading scorers of this team, of this league. So don't be shocked seeing Joric If only he gets to be consistent, sobrang laking bagay yun para sa FEU. UST, okay? UST could be one team that could shock everyone. Having someone, or hindi naman hindi lang pala someone, having new reinforcements to help out Nick Caballero is something big for this UST team. We've said it before the past 2 seasons. It's not a good sight to see having one team not be competitive in the UAAP. And it's very nice to know now that UST has the capabilities of being competitive once again. Pero ang pipiliin kong X factor here for the UST Growling Tigers would be their transferee, and we've seen him before as well. Kyle Paranada, Warriors, now heading back to the UAAP. So if he brings that type of scoring, that type of playmaking as he was doing in UE a few seasons ago, together with Padrigao, they could do some magic dun sa UST. And we saw glimpses of those nung Phil Oil. In a way, they were competitive. I think kahit yung game natin against them, medyo dikit din. But, and also having an additional, I mean, a legit FSA now this season, unlike the last two previous seasons na medyo nagulon sila dun. I'm liking what I'm seeing, at least defensively, from that dude sa T, yung FSA nila. Also, with new recruits, Asido, Mahmoud, they should be able to step up as well and help alongside the veterans and do significant contributions. Maganda, hopefully maganda kalabasan nitong USC team na to. Also, they have a Phil-Am coming from the US and also participated na Philo na rin. He's also giving significant contributions in terms of scoring. So again, that's something that they could look out for as well in USD. Now they have the size, now they have the experience, now they have ample materials per position, I would say, in order to make some surprises this season 87. So you better watch out for USD because they're not pushovers anymore for this season. And that's really nice. Lastly, hindi ko na discuss yung UP. Lastly, we have the NU Bulldogs. NU, after the pandemic, has always been there. Sila yung pumalit sa FEU, sila yung pumalit sa UST in terms of being a consistent Final Four contender. And now, losing some players, but adding as well, in a way, these as discussed namin ni Enzo, itong team na 'to kahit papaano talaga intact pa rin yung core, okey? Um, but my X factor for this team should be Reynard Humamoy, MVP of the juniors. His, rookie year was quite so-so, so there's so much more left that we could see from Reynard Humamoy. Siguro yung effectiveness in terms of him playing alongside Steve Nash Enriquez, yun yung hindi nila makita kung paano gagawing effective talaga. At least that's how I see it. Offensively at least. Parang yun yung nagiging mystery for Coach Jeff Napa with playing Reynard Humamoy. But we all know his capability, we all know his potential. He is a scoring machine back in the juniors. And I'm confident na he also can translate that into the seniors game given the chance. So feeling ko nangangapa pa lang din siya. Hopefully it's not a sophomore slump for him. Hopefully he gets to get his confidence going early on in the season. And sana magtuloy-tuloy yun hanggang sa Final Four still as well. Of course, you have sila Manansala, Figueroa, as mentioned, Palacielo, Don Lim still there. And they have two FSAs. Not sure kung sino ipapasok nila. O- O- Oliver. Sino isa, the previous one, not sure papalitan siya. Patrick Yu is still there. Now they have, again, as mentioned in the previous episode, Vince Reyes and Tebol Garcia coming from that Adamson championship team. So if these two guys adjust right away and contribute that as they have in their juniors teams, that would also be a big help for NU. This new blood contributing to this uh struggling, I would say struggling NU Bulldogs team from the previous seasons. If they get to prove na they become effective and they made the right decision in joining NU, ang ganda ng kalalabasan nun for the Bulldogs. So if all of those comes to plan and bears fruit this season, whether it be early on or later on in the season, it would be a big help for NU if they get to be that effective. Yun. Run it down. And for UP, nabanggit ko na to, Harold, ay sorry, Enzo chose Harold, ako si Francis and Aldous because they've been solid on that four spot. Running it down again, Joshua David for LaSalle, Ian Espinosa for Ateneo, Joshua Yera for Adamson, John Abate for UE, Cholo Anonweber for FEU, Kyle Paranada for UST, and Reynard Dumamoy for NU. These are the guys to watch out for me. And if they step up, I believe their teams will be very competitive come the Final Four. Period. How about you guys? You agree per team or may pipiliin ba kayo iba pa? If you heard your team here, well, nabanggit naman lahat. Comment down below kung sino pipiliin yung X factor for your team for season 87 and let's discuss. Okay? See you guys on opening weekend tomorrow and that amazing Sunday schedule wherein all teams will be playing after UP Ateneo. Okay? See you guys. Season 87 coming up. Peace.